I want you to take just like a quick mental inventory of your wardrobe right now. Just picture your closet doors swinging open.
Hmm.
And if you are, like most people historically, you probably have this very strict geographical divide happening in there.
Oh, absolutely. The classic split.
Right. Like over on the left, you've got your gym clothes, the neon synthetics, the worn out t-shirts, the things you actually sweat in.
Yeah, the functional stuff.
Exactly. And then over on the right, you have your going out clothes, the structured pieces, the tailored fits, the things you wear when you actually want to be perceived by society.
Right, your public-facing wardrobe.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is this solid wall between those two worlds, or, well, at least there used to be.
Yeah.
Because as we look around in 2026, that divide hasn't just been breached. It has completely, utterly vanished.
It really has. The entire concept of, compartmentalizing our clothes based on our daily itinerary, it's effectively collapsed.
It's wild.
It is. The rules of what belongs where have been fundamentally rewritten over the last couple of years.
Which is exactly why we're here.
Well,
Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. We are taking a magnifying glass to, honestly, the most explosive fashion trend of 2026, which is corset-seamed activewear.
a huge topic.
Massive. And our insights today are pulled from this really comprehensive trend report on modern athleisure, heavily featuring premium fashion insights from Apparelizer.
Yeah, they've got some fantastic data on this.
They really do. So our mission today is to figure out exactly how, and I guess more importantly why, the fashion industry has managed to successfully merge the sculpting, delicate elegance of lingerie with the sweaty, high-impact reality of the gym.
It sounds impossible when you say it out loud.
Right. And of course, we're going to look at why it has absolutely taken over all of your social media feeds. So, okay, let's unpack this because conceptually, it's just wild.
It really is.
It's like taking the architectural blueprints of Victorian fashion and building it out of futuristic, stretchy clouds.
I love that. That is actually a highly accurate way to visualize it. I mean, on paper, these two concepts, the corset and the gym, they should be completely antagonistic to one another.
Oh, totally. Like oil and water.
Exactly, because they represent two wildly different relationships with the human body. Like, one is all about restriction, right? Molding the body to fit a specific societal standard. And the other is about total freedom of movement and physical performance.
Right. So before we can even begin to understand why this specific aesthetic is dominating 2026, we really have to wrap our heads around what corset-seamed activewear actually is.
Yeah, definitions are important here.
Because just saying the phrase out loud sounds like a contradiction in terms. I mean, a corset is historically a cage,
Literally.
and activewear is about mobility. So how do they even coexist?
Well, to understand that, we have to look at the mechanical shift in how these garments are actually built.
Okay.
We are talking about activewear that features these highly structured seam lines that are explicitly inspired by traditional corsetry. But the crucial distinction here is the materials. Historical corsets used rigid materials, things like whalebone or steel.
Ouch.
Yeah, literally physical metal to force the body into a specific silhouette through sheer unyielding pressure.
Right.
But modern corset-seamed activewear, it offers total flexibility. And the trend report outlines this massive lineup of pieces. It's not just tops. We're talking sports bras, sculpting bodysuits, seam-detailed leggings, performance tops, and active jumpsuits.
Okay, wait. I have to stop you there because my brain is kind of snagging on the physics of this whole thing.
Sure. What's the hang-up?
Well, if a corset relied on stiffness to work, like if it relies on physically pushing you into a shape with rigid boning,
Yeah.
how do you get that sculpted look if the fabric is just soft and stretchy?
That's the genius of it.
Because doesn't the whole concept just kind of fall apart without the rigidity? Like,
Yeah.
are we just talking about an optical illusion here, or is there physical shaping actually happening?
It is actually a combination of both. But the physical shaping relies on something called localized tension mapping rather than just solid rigidity.
Tension mapping.
Yeah. It represents this fundamental shift in textile engineering from compression to contouring.
Okay, break that down for me. What is the actual mechanical difference between compression and contouring? Because they sound like the same thing.
They do, but they're completely different experiences. If we look back at, say, the early 2010s, workout leggings relied entirely on compression.
Right.
And the mechanism there was essentially squeezing the wearer into a sausage casing.
Oh, man, I remember those.
Right. The garment applied this uniform, intense pressure across the entire surface area. It flattened everything out through sheer elastic force.
Yeah, it definitely restricted your breathing, and it wasn't something you wanted to wear for more than an hour or two.
Exactly. Now, contouring, which is what drives this 2026 trend, uses varying weave densities. The garment isn't physically crushing you anymore.
Oh, thank goodness.
Instead, manufacturers are using these rigid, non-stretch stitches, the visible corset seams, and placing them strategically on top of high elastane panels.
So the seams themselves are doing the work that the steel bones used to do.
Precisely. The thick, ribbed seams have a much, much lower stretch limit than the fabric between them.
Oh, I see.
So when you put the garment on, the stretch is forced to occur between the seams rather than across them.
Okay.
This creates localized zones of tension. The seams pull taut, and they act as these physical guidelines that hold a specific structure around the waist and bust.
While the fabric in between expands to accommodate the body.
Exactly.
It's like a suspension bridge.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, like you don't build a modern bridge out of solid concrete walls.
Right.
You use flexible cables placed under immense tension to hold the shape.
Right.
But you still allow the structure to sway and move.
That is a perfect metaphor. The rigid seams are the tension cables. They provide the visual architecture and the physical support, pulling the fabric taut to create that hourglass definition.
But they don't cage you in.
No, they don't. And the source material really emphasizes that modern consumers want the visual definition of a tailored garment, but they utterly reject the physical restriction.
Of course.
They want to look like they are wearing structure while actually feeling like they are wearing nothing at all.
Which means the actual textiles being used here have to be incredibly advanced.
Very.
Because to make this suspension bridge work, you are basically forcing a marriage between utilitarian gym wear and delicate lingerie. What is happening at the fiber level to make this possible?
So the Apparelizer report highlights a very specific cocktail of materials. We are looking at advanced nylon blends, highly specialized polyester performance fabrics, high-gauge elastane, and recycled performance fibers.
Wow, quite the mix.
It is. But the innovation isn't just in the yarn itself. It's in how it is knitted.
Okay, but if you have these dense, rigid seams acting as tension cables across the torso, doesn't that trap heat?
You would think so.
Yeah, I mean, gym wear needs to survive a high-intensity interval training class. If you were binding the torso with low-stretch seams, it sounds like a complete recipe for overheating.
Well, that would be true if the panels between the seams were uniform, but they aren't.
Oh, they vary.
Yes. This is where moisture-wicking microfiber and ribbed stretch knit come into play. The textile engineers alternate the high-tension panels with micro-mesh ventilation zones.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the microfibers used in these garments are often engineered with a dual-layer approach. So you have a hydrophobic or water-repelling inner layer resting against the skin,
Okay.
which actively pushes sweat outward. And then the outer layer is hydrophilic or water-absorbing.
So it pulls that moisture to the surface.
Exactly, where the ambient air evaporates it almost instantly.
So the garment doesn't just become a wet sponge,
Yes.
even when you're sweating heavily?
Yeah.
The structure holds and the fabric breathes.
Exactly. The elastane and microfiber allow your muscles to expand, contract, and move without any friction, while the tension seams maintain the silhouette.
That's amazing.
It really is a masterclass in textile engineering, just kind of disguised as a fashion statement.
I love that.
Right. The gym wear side provides the four-way stretchability, the sweat resistance, the athletic support. And the lingerie side provides the elegant seam detailing, the feminine silhouettes, and the sophisticated necklines.
Okay, so instead of wearing a suit of armor, it's more like wearing an optical illusion made of high-tech spandex.
Pretty much.
Because these single-layer garments are effectively managing temperature, sweat, and physical support all at once. And that completely short-circuits how we design for different times of the day.
It really does.
And that brings us to the actual wardrobe takeover.
Yeah.
Because, a cool fabric technology doesn't just automatically create a global phenomenon unless it fundamentally changes how people live their lives.
That's the key. The versatility is the true catalyst here. The source outlines how fluidly these pieces transition through a modern schedule, drastically altering consumer behavior.
Right.
We are just moving entirely away from having separate outfits for separate activities.
Let's trace what that actually looks like in practice. Because the report details this full day's progression, which is super interesting.
Yeah, let's walk through it.
So you start at the gym. This is the garment's natural habitat, obviously. You've got a corset-inspired sports bra offering high support, paired with matching seam detail leggings.
Hmm.
The vertical seams on the leggings elongate the legs, while the bra provides waist definition.
And you're getting the full utilitarian benefit right there.
Yeah.
But then the transition happens. Instead of going home to shower and completely change outfits, the modern consumer is adapting that exact same foundational garment for the rest of their day.
So the report mentions moving to casual everyday wear by taking an active bodysuit, throwing a cropped jacket over it, and pairing it with wide-leg trousers.
Yes.
But wait, I have to push back here. Realistically, are people actually sitting in a midday business casual meeting in a garment they just did 45 minutes of heavy cardio in?
They absolutely are.
But what about the smell? The smell alone.